Hello and welcome to the second video on match pair designs. This is match pair design 2, and I want to show you a couple more setups about how we could do this. On the first video I did this one, and then today I'm going to do this one and then maybe another quick one of these just on the setup. The more you get exposed to these things, the better. The second way we can match pairs is compare two treatments on two very similar experimental units. Okay, so this might be, there was a problem before that talked about shampoo. We had a new and we had an old. Okay, so these are my factors. Okay, so they came out and they said age was also a factor. Okay, age was also a factor in shampoo, and then they had these people. So 19. This is the age of everybody. 19, 50. Okay, and doing one side of the head and the other side of the head wasn't an option. Okay, so you couldn't wash that and compare. So you can see number one, we couldn't do number one. Number one would be put the new on one side of the head and put the old on the other. So that can't be done. So they said age was also a factor. So the best that we could do is we create these blocks. I like doing the blocks like this. And since age was also a factor in determining how well the shampoo worked, okay, we want a block. Each block needs to be similar. So I would take this 19-year-old and I'd put them with the 22-year-old. This would be block 1. Okay, so they're gone. And then I would go, 25 would go with the 27-year-old. 25 would go with the 27. That would be block 2. And the last one, the 50, would be in the same block as the 55. That would be block 3. Now what we have to do is you have two people in each block. One person's going to get the A and one person's going to get the B. Okay? And you have to randomly assign. Okay? So I'll call this the left and this the right, and I'll say flip a fair coin. Now watch how I do this. I flip a fair coin. If heads, then person on the left gets the new. If tails, now watch, I'm gonna pick the same person. Person on left gets old. Now notice I picked the same person, the person on the left. This person right here. Okay? You have to be real careful, because if I'd have said the person on the right would get the old, then it would be the same for everybody. It'd be everybody on the left would get this, and everybody on the left would get the new, and everybody on the right would get the tails. So keep that consistent. Make sure you guys look at that. My handwriting's not the best tonight, or possibly maybe never is my handwriting that great, but make sure you understand how to do that. So I have 3 blocks, okay, and you would measure this, okay. Now sometimes they say a characteristic is not a factor. Now if it's not a factor, you don't want to block on it because it's not going to make a difference, okay. And what we're measuring, we want to block on the things that make a difference, okay. So now let me give you a different situation that has to do with plots of land. Okay, plots of land. These are always good problems. I won't make this too pretty. Okay, so I have this plot of land, and let's go with the A and the B again. Okay, so I want to put. Now remember, it's kind of hard to see this, but this is actually these are your factors, because we're going to measure how much they grow. Okay, or let's say these are tomato plants again, and we're going to see how much tomato these produce. So these aren't your experimental units, because this is the reason that they're growing. Okay, the reason that A grows is because A is better than B. Okay, so that'd be a factor. It's a factor of why it grows more, because A is better than B, or B is better than A. Your experimental units are actually these plots. Okay, they're actually these plots. It's a little difficult to see, but we have our three choices. We could do a randomized comparative experiment. Okay, if I just do a randomized comparative experiment, all I'm doing is I'm randomly putting the tomato plant A and B to any of these, A and B. So technically these could be all A, okay? Or I could limit it to 4 and 4, but so yeah, I could limit it to 4 and 4, so I could flip a coin and it could be A, B, A, B, A, B. Or I could take this and I could put them as blocks. I could say, okay, well, these top 4 are pretty similar, and these bottom 4 are pretty similar to each other. So what I could do is I could put 2 A's and 2 B's in each block. But we want to do a matched pair. So a matched pair, this is how we would do this. Okay, this is our experimental unit. Okay, and you want to say, well, this is one experimental unit, and we want to have 2 treatments within this experimental unit. So what I could do is I could cut this thing in half, and I could cut this in half, cut this in half, and what I could do is within this experimental unit, I could randomly assign A to this side and B to that side. A to this side and B to that side. B to here. Now we're going to randomly do this. A, B, A, B. Okay, and now look at, I have, how many blocks do I have? Every plot is a block. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 blocks. You have 2 treatments in each experimental unit. Okay, so you have 8 data points to compare at the end of this. Okay, now let me randomly explain how I do this. I do a little key. I do this. I'd say that's the left, that's the right. I would say flip a coin. If heads, A will go on left. If tails, B will go on left. Continue. Until all plots are filled. You could say continue the same method. Okay, so that's how you randomize. Okay, so this is another example of a match pairs. Okay, anytime you do a pre and a post, that's a match pairs. Okay, I take a pretest, I give you some help, some tutoring, I give you a post test. Okay, that's 2 treatments being posed on the same person. Exercise, I weigh you, I put you through a weigh program, I put you through a workout program. I weigh you at the end. Match pairs. 2 treatments on 1 person. Okay. So that's the match pairs design. If you're having trouble with it, make sure you read the book. Make sure you maybe do some research on the internet. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.